me through how you feel the landscape of Manistee is going to change either positively or negatively with all of this commercial real estate that's now been purchased and new businesses are coming to town. Now, we tend to talk more about the city of Manistee because that's, the vicinity of where we live, work, and play until we go out into the county to do some of that outdoor recreation that we're involved in. But for 10 years from now or 15 years from now, where do you think Manistee's going as a county when we see all this growth that's happening around us?
Sure. Well, I personally feel, I bought my home here, and I don't have an exit strategy. So I plan on being here for a long time, and I think there's lots of other people that are moving here, my age, young professionals, and they're planning on being here for a while. They want to raise a family here, and we've got the structure, in place to start doing that. We've got good housing projects that are going in. We're working on childcare, which, is a separate issue that we should come to after this line of thinking. But I think there's going to be more people coming. We've got we've got the infrastructure in place for growth and a nice place to live. I mean, we've got a great manufacturing base, and that provides head of household jobs and a great tax base for the community to be able to fund our projects that are important for community growth, public growth. And then we have a lot of interested parties that are coming in, private investors, tens of millions of dollars coming in from other places to invest in Manistee. So it's important for us as residents to not only acknowledge that and recognize it, but try and match that energy.
Try and match that energy.
So, when we come up with a project downtown, that is not a simple project. These buildings are not ones that you walk in, sweep the floor, turn the lights on, and start running your business. Okay, these are major renovations. Sometimes it involves demolition down at the end of River Street there. Something good is going to come out of that.
Right.
We don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, and I don't, because I'm not directly involved. But as an outsider watching that, we have to recognize that it's going to be extremely complicated. So we have to give it time.
It's complicated because there's a lot of moving pieces.
There is, yeah. So I think that like the negative commentary and some of the pessimism that's coming out of there, you're always going to have some of that. But to people in that line of thinking, I would say, think about it like this, right? So you and I are going to have a dinner party.
Right.
Okay. And first part is that first we have to decide we're going to have a dinner party. Well, then we got to figure out where are we going to have this dinner party. So can I have it at your house? Can we do it at my house? Is the venue big enough? Is it going to support all of our guests? The next part of that is, what are we going to serve, right? So then we got to go out to all the people we want to invite. We got to figure out, hey, what do you want to have at our dinner party? Are there any vegans? Is somebody, lactose intolerant? Things like that. You have to find out the needs of your guests, right? So then, once we figure that out, we've got to make a list. We've got to put it all down on paper, figure out what we need to go to the store and buy. So then, we got to figure out, how much money do we need to take to the store, and how much money is going to be left?
Yeah.
Is the store going to have everything? We might have to go to Meijer, and then we might have to go to Port City Organics because they don't have, whatever vegan, nutritional yeast or like that kind of stuff. So
it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, yeah. You can make do, but when you really want it the way you want it, you might have to shop around a little bit. Sure. So consider how complicated something like that can be. Putting it on a list. Oh yeah, I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, and hopefully I have enough money. You can budget it. You can do your research, and then you don't know. When's the last time you went to Meijer and you knew exactly how long you were going to be in there, how much you were going to spend, and exactly what you were going to walk out with?
Yeah, never.
Right.
It's always different.
Things happen. You get a call in the middle of the store, hey, we
Yeah.
need more eggs.
Right.
$12 down the drain.
15 for 6.
So, you have to look at, if we look at something as simple as a dinner party as being complicated and hard to plan for,
Right.
you have to acknowledge that when you scale that up to a project that's tens of millions of dollars, it's going to be hard. There's a lot of people involved, and, but if we want to go to the dinner party, we might have to chip in.
Where do you see, okay, so to kind of come back to the beginning of that question, so we've got the Hampton Inn,
Yep.
which is a tens of $million project. It's going to bring additional jobs to the table. We've got the Gateway project, which you just touched on, and how difficult that is. That once that comes to fruition, that's a massive project. That's
Yeah.
going to bring. I can't imagine how many jobs, but quite a few, right? It's not
Sure.
going to be like industry level, factory level here, but it's going to have a number of jobs. There's other projects going on within the county. How do we get those workers? Where do those workers come from, I guess? Where do you think those workers come from? Because the pool here is, everybody's looking
Sure.
for employee.
Yeah. I don't have the answer to that.
I'm dreaming with
I know.
you here.
There's a certain. I think that there's a certain amount of chaos that exists, and you always have to plan for the chaos, and that you can't plan for the chaos, right?
Right.
So, you're gonna pull employees from some of the existing businesses. Some people are gonna move to town. I know a couple that moved to town just because this is where they wanted to be. So they just show up, and then they'll make it work.
Yeah.
Not everybody's as type A as I am when it comes to planning their life. So, they didn't know where they were going to work.
Yeah.
They didn't know where they were going to live. They just decided they were going to move here, and then they're going to figure out the rest. So, that kind of thing doesn't work itself out. But when the opportunity presents itself, we have to be ready to make a move on it. Which is why we're looking at some of the properties around our community, and there's great projects happening outside of the city in the community. And when I say community, I mean the townships, the surrounding townships. The townships are getting on board with, making those properties that are basically useless right now, and finding a way to make it approachable for an investor to show up and have a successful project. Their success is our success, especially when it comes to housing.
Well, there you go. So, housing.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that a little bit? Your thoughts on housing, where we're at with housing, certain housing projects?
Again, I don't have any direct hands on any of this stuff.
We're just chewing the rag, dude.
But there's an exciting development potentially happening in Manistee Township. That'll be, a lot of really great places for people to live.
What's that?
It's at the old school, the one that's falling down.
Oh,
yeah,
the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that location, they're working on it. It's very early.
Well, this is a dinner party.
Yeah.
That's a dinner party project.
It's
sure.
early, but the interest is there, and so far the township is meeting the interest. Okay. So, there's a lot of people working really hard to bring that home. I think we can look at the Hollander project as a success. They went in, and it feels like yesterday that we were talking about that project being in the very early stages, and now there's people living up there. And they look great. So we should take those projects and know that, and when an investor shows up to the point where they're ready to start presenting plans and talking about writing checks, that
sure.
It's a serious game. So they're ready to do it. We just have to get out of the way.
Yeah, and stop being the negative Nancy on Facebook.
You know, I don't know if we talked about this yet, but so like, you know, the negative commentary and things like that. I think it's important when you put stuff on social media.
Sure.
There's a reason that the comment option is there.
Yep.
So when you put it on there, you better be ready for the commentary. So it's a good opportunity to find out where people are thinking. You know, not everybody has time to show up to a council meeting and weigh in, or an opportunity like that. So sometimes that commentary is well thought out. It's on good footing. It's something that we haven't thought about, and I think that it needs to be brought up.
Sure.
And I'm always thankful when I read something like that, and I'm like, well, I guess, you know, so and so hasn't thought about that. Maybe we need to have a conversation. But you have to sort through the chaff to get the hay, or the hay to get the chaff, right?
I don't know.
Which one is it?
You were a farmer. I don't know.
We didn't do that kind of farming.
Do you want to touch on the daycare? Because I know that that's something that you're passionate about, or something that you're definitely involved in discussion locally.
Yeah.
And trying to create daycare opportunities for families that are in need.
Yeah. You know, early child care education.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just being old. It was called daycare.
I know. So we've got some opportunities with the bond, the MAPS bond that was passed. Okay. That's an exciting thing. I don't think that's going to be the golden goose. I don't really think there is a golden goose when it comes to child care. It's going to require full spectrum thinking. You know, we have to get people educated in early child care, make them ready to be successful if they want to open a child care business in our community. We have to make it affordable, because right now it's sort of like it's the price that just keeps on going up, and I don't think we've found the top price for child care yet. Just because people are still having kids. A lot of people had a lot of free time in 2020 and 2021, and, you know, some kids that came out of that. So, you know, I think we haven't seen the worst when it comes to child care, but we have a top-notch, I'm pretty sure it's an award-winning program at West Shore Community College. There's all kinds of funding and grants available for people that want to get educated. We just have to find a way to connect them and get their interests and help them get to the point where they can be successful. So, but this isn't something that people can do on their own. Right. You know, we have to have the education infrastructure for child care. We have to have buildings for these people, and you know, it has to be affordable to run a child care, and it has to be affordable to purchase child care. So right now, it's, you know, there's a gap, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if anyone knows what it is. The gap between.
Well, people are working on it. There's a pathway, or beginning stages of a pathway. Which is good. Which is nice to hear.
Yeah. It's not an issue that people are ignoring. It's an extremely complicated issue. So.
Well, let's zing this up with, why don't you just give me a quick little soundbite on what you're really excited about for the county? It's kind of a big, broad, bring it down to the one thing that you're really excited about. I know you got a lot of irons in the fire. You are relatively connected. You keep saying that you're not, like, but... Yeah,
but I don't have... I'm not writing checks.
Right.
Right? And I'm not directly employed, which is nice for me because I can't necessarily get fired from the conversation.
Right.
I could definitely, somebody could tell me to just, go away. But, you know, it's exciting to me that we have a lot of moving parts in the county. We have local elected officials that acknowledge and are excited about progress. We have professionals in the Chamber of Commerce and at the city who are excited about progress. And we have a large number of people in the community that are excited about progress. So those four things coupled with the right investor, have everything you need for a successful project. And that's what I'm excited about. Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.